7:42 on a Friday, Boston, Massachusetts.
Guys, I got some news, some terrible news. We got a huge problem.
I feel like we could do a podcast, and it would be a million times better than whatever that drivel was we were listening to.
What the hell is a podcast? What is that? The future of radio, you jabronis.
Eric, no notes or anything? What's going on?
Why would I have notes? Oh, we're recording today. I forgot. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Hey, yo! And welcome to the Always Sunny Cast. I'm your host, Eric.
And I'm co-host Ross.
And this is the podcast where we go through Always Sunny, episode by episode, scene by scene, and we break it all down. We chop it all up. And we mix it into a jug of riot juice. And we drink it down, and we figure out what makes it so funny. Right?
Sure. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I was struggling on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't even listening because I was trying to review some notes and cheat. I'm like, what was this episode about?
Ross, before we get into this awesome episode, this episode was really, really funny. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was a good one.
You know what? I did so much. This had so much. We haven't had an episode in a while where there's a lot to look up.
Yeah.
But this one was one of those, and it's that's kind of my favorite part of this. I think is learning
about the World Series and
what
day it may or may not have been on.
I have a tab open here that says "What is grain alcohol?" So yeah, so it's cool.
That's interesting. I'm gonna see if my definition works. I'm just gonna make one up.
And Ross, before we get into this, I got an email here from Donald. Here, Donald sent us an email and he says some kind words.
Okay.
He likes the show, and he actually listens while at work, something I think you and I can relate to. We listen to podcasts at work.
Oh, yeah. For years, I've been doing that.
I don't even know how I got through work before podcasts. I truly don't.
Or going to and from work.
Life.
Of course.
In general.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And he actually has some interesting information here about the episode The Gang Hits the Road. Something we probably should have touched on. He says here that in Philadelphia, it is actually legal to drink alcohol as a passenger. Isn't that interesting? So what they're doing, by having the hitchhiker drive, they can all drink.
That's crazy. They can do that?
I guess, yeah, that's what he says. I mean, it's crazy for us too, because Massachusetts, you can't even have an open bottle of wine. Do you know what I mean? There's
outside.
Yeah, there's an open container law. You can't have an open container of alcohol, no matter if you're drinking it or not, inside of your car. Mm-hmm. So it's I was like, wow, you can. That was pretty interesting, I think.
Thanks for the information, Donald. Could have been brought to our attention yesterday.
Yeah, Donald, thank you. And anyone else, if you have any tidbits and information like that is very cool info to add, hit us up on alwayssunnycastpod@gmail.com, and we'll do a corrections thing, omissions or whatever.
Yeah, sure. We can make it a little corner.
Yeah. Thanks, Donald. All right, let's get into it. Today we're talking Season 5, Episode 6, The World Series Defense. Original air date is October 22nd, 2009. Written by David Hornsby, directed by Randall Einhorn. And Russ, what is that IMDb summary?
Fighting a series of traffic tickets, Dennis, along with the rest of the gang, tell the judge about their horrific experiences at Game 5 of the Phillies World Series.
I like how it says the judge instead of a judge.
Or the Phillies World Series. It just belongs to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. All right. And this episode was written in 2009. So what was going on in 2009?
Well, it's funny the IMDb summary calls it the Phillies World Series because in 2009, the World Series champions were the New York Yankees.
Oh, really?
Who played the Phillies.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. I'm not really a baseball guy. I don't know much about baseball.
Yeah, me neither. Keeping up with sports to any degree is usually hard to do.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, totally.
For me, it's not in my wheelhouse. None of my friends really watch it.
Yeah, me too. So the Phillies won in 2008, and then they were back again in 2009, but lost to the Yankees.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So good for them getting there again. That's not easy to do.
No. Yeah. No. All right. Cool. Yeah. All right, then, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Let the record show. Cold open. It's 11 a.m. on Tuesday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We open up on a courtroom hearing where the gang explains they shouldn't have to pay parking tickets because the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series. So it basically sets up the whole premise here in this first little cold open, which is 44 seconds. This is
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
This is like such a quick little like flash.
Yeah, 44 seconds. It's crazy how much can get done in 44 seconds.
I know. I love that though.
Oh yeah,
They
definitely.
get right to it.
And before we jump into it here, do you get anything on this judge?
Yes. Judge is played by Patricia Belschner. She was born 1954 from Helena, Montana. She was in Seinfeld, Norm, Boston Legal, 500 Days of Summer, Community, Bones, Jeepers Creepers, and Flatliners.
Nice.
Yeah. Got Seinfeld in there.
Yeah.
Community.
A lot of good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Seinfeld, I'm going like, oh, can I place her? I don't know if I can.
And I like her as a judge because she's just no nonsense. Like, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah, she's a great actor. There's one thing with the way she says when they come walking in here, and the way she says, "Who are these people?" It seems so real, like someone who's like aggravated. You know what I mean?
Always a bunch of clowns.
They do this a lot where they're across from somebody, and they do this a lot where they're across from somebody telling a story. This is like a thing.
Yeah, this is kind of reminds me of the gang cracks the Liberty
Yeah.
Bell.
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit?
Yep, definitely. And so apparently from October 28th to November 1st, Dennis's car was illegally parked, I guess in the stadium parking lot is what we can assume.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, let's just get this out of the way right now. The game was on October 27th. So
Yes.
Dennis is late. They're all late to the party. Well, why did they do this? Did they have to do this?
I have no idea. I mean, a lot of like weird little things about like what they can and can't do
In this episode,
in terms
yeah.
of like this episode
Yeah.
is very funny to me.
Yeah, we're going to go through
yeah.
it. There's a bunch of different stuff where that is like for copyright or legal reasons they have to do certain stuff, but this specifically just being on the wrong day, is this just they messed up, or it's strange?
I think it was maybe them just like splitting the difference because the game does start on the 27th and end on the 29th.
Right, so what days it rained out on?
27th
It's rained
and
out-
28th.
And the 28th.
Yeah, so I mean, naturally they would just finish the game the next day.
Yeah.
But like, I think it was also just raining that day too, so it went through.
Huh, interesting. Isn't it kind of strange and interesting, the logistics of it, like how it lines up?
It was raining that day in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, apparently he's a bunch of parking tickets here, and
Which accumulates to a lot.
Yeah.
Can we talk about $1,300?
I was going to ask you, have you ever had parking tickets like this?
No. I mean, I've gotten like one or two, but not like consecutive ones that compile to this degree. This is like...
I've had like the one or two from all over the city that have piled up to like, a couple $100s. Sure.
Yeah, but 1,300?
Not 1,300. Yeah, that's a lot. And not from the same one ticket. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And also in like 2008, so you would think like, yeah, tickets get a little more expensive as time goes on,
Yeah.
but like this is also like a while back.
Have you ever gone to court to argue a ticket?
No, have you?
I have. Not a parking ticket.
Please regale us with the story of you going
There's
to
no
court.
story. There's no story there. But it's I drive a truck, like for my job. I drive like a big truck. I deliver stuff.
Quit bragging on how
I
big the
deliver
truck is.
snack foods. But yeah, so I'm in this big truck, and some streets have like a no trucks can be on this street type of deal.
Okay.
There was a street that's like behind the Shaws I used to deliver to in Boston. It was actually right near Fenway Park. Speaking of baseball and everything, it was right near Fenway Park. And I got there was a cop that was like, I was like coming down the street, which I went down all the time. There are no signs. Like there's no there's trucks all over the place here. And there's like a big giant Coke truck in front of me, a bigger truck than mine. And he gets pulled over, and then also I get pulled over, and the cop says it's a no truck road. I'm like, I've been working this route for like years. You know what I mean? I'm like, since when? You know what I mean?
Since when?
So I got a $100 ticket, and
Wow.
I went, and there's no signs or there's no, I don't know. I don't know how to explain what happened. You know what I
That's
mean?
crazy. That's unfair.
So I went in to like contest the ticket, and when I was in there, everyone that was contesting the ticket with me that day was all the other truck drivers from that day who also all got pulled over. There was like a bunch of truck drivers. Everyone was.
Did you guys get off?
Hey, we got
You guys got off together?
yeah, we did. We all got the tickets dismissed, because everyone came in like, there's no signs. This isn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the judge was like, as soon as I came in, the judge started to hear what. They was like, okay, go ahead. You don't have to, whatever. Because like I just already heard all this.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the rub, Ross. To contest.
What's the rub
This is the
mean?
scam. This is the scam with this is the scam from the city. the scam. So to contest a ticket costs $25 or like $50. It costs money to be able to contest the ticket. So I had
lose either way.
So they're making money whether it was a right ticket or not. They're still making money on it. Isn't that crazy?
That's so unfair.
That's crazy. I know.
That is a scam.
That is a scam. Yeah, everyone who's talking about it, we're in there like they're letting everybody go, but we all had to pay money to even be here to do this. So you know what I mean? It's strange.
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucked. All right, that was such a tangent. Let's get back to it. And so I love this part here where she says, "What grounds do you have like to dismiss this ticket?" And I love this. Many grounds. Many grounds.
Many grounds, Your Honor.
Many grounds is a funny phrase. Many grounds. I don't know.
On many grounds, Your Honor. And you know what grounds comes from?
No. You looked that up?
I had to look that up because I was like, oh, that must mean something, right? Grounds are more than simply reasons for wanting the court order relief. They are reasons specified by the law that will serve as a basis for the demanding of the belief.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. It's not just like a personal excuse. No, it's like backed by the law.
Right. Yeah. Well, they must have many of them. Many of them.
Many of them. How deep are those grounds?
And this is great where I love Charlie here. Lady Madam of the Court is how he calls her. Lady Madam of the Court.
Can we talk about what he's wearing? Because he's wearing like a new...
He hasn't worn this tie, this setup before?
I don't think
so.
Is
this his lawyer gear?
It is his lawyer gear, but it keeps like switching up just slightly.
Oh, really? Why? What'd you notice? What do you got? I didn't even...
Well, just like the short tie.
Yeah, the tie is too short. It drives me nuts. Like the tie, the tip of your tie should
go to the belt.
Yeah, it should touch the top of your belt. I know. And it's like, it's strange. When you see one, and it's too wide. The tie is too wide. Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't look so bad if it was lower. I don't know.
I think he would actually look... Everything else is okay, except for the tie.
Yeah, I agree.
You think it's a clip-on?
No.
You think Charlie knows how to tie a tie?
I think Frank knows how to tie a tie, and he tied it for himself, which is why it's so short.
That is a great theory. That is an absolute great theory. I hope we see that at some point. They have endured physical and emotional pain from this whole ordeal. They're telling the judge here. They're being really dramatic about this. And and she says, what ordeal is that? And Dennis says in the most serious way possible, the Philadelphia Phillies winning the World Series. So, but we're going to get to it at the end of the episode, but the Philadelphia Phillies winning the World Series, how could they be blamed for this? How is that a defense? Like, on what grounds? You know what I mean? Like, is
like to say the Philadelphia Phillies playing a game caused them this problem,
right?
It's their desire to go to the game, right. I guess.
Exactly. It's crazy, like right off the bat, how like
he's just tossing blame around.
Yeah, he's just gonna blame, and it's like he's going straight to the top. You know what I mean? He's going straight to the top, like blaming.
Not like Holiday Inn, or like
yeah, exactly. Holiday Inn would have more responsibility. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So then we get the title card, the World Series defense. Great title. It's not the last defense that we get. I love a something defense. Because in like law and lawyers and stuff, they have like things called the something defense. It's like a strategy.
Yeah.
The strategy is the World Series defense. It's great. It's a great title.
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of a break from like the gang does a thing or whatever.
It's just a statement. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so let the record show, after the opening credits, the gang begin to tell the judge that they are not responsible for the tickets. Oh, I think I jumped the gun on the many grounds. This is where the many grounds comes in.
Yeah, you did.
I did. Look at that. I was so excited to get to it.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about like Charlie's like inflection too, because he is doing his like lawyer talk, and he's doing the Lady Madam of the Court.
It's interesting here because Max says, "Let the record show we're waiving our right to attorney." Why isn't Charlie their attorney? Why don't they just say Charlie's the attorney?
Yeah, they should have just specified, like, Charlie is our lawyer.
Or Charlie should be like, strike that, I'm the attorney, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like something...
That would have been more appropriate, him appointing himself.
Right, yeah. It's interesting that he is doing a lawyer thing, but they do make it clear that they're waiving their right to lawyer. This is where we get our first "Let the Record Show" from Mac.
Yeah, this is a little game.
I
I
love
think it's
it.
like mostly Mac based.
I love it. I love it.
Let the record show.
Let the record show. Like they're saying things that they have maybe have seen on like an episode of like Law and Order or something.
Yeah, they're getting to use all their terms and stuff.
Yeah, like who?
This
Like
episode.
how often do you think "Let the Record Show" comes up? Probably
Or
not that
on
often.
many grounds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And they're gonna explain, and the best way to explain, obviously, is to start at the top. They always do this where they start a story like way before it needs to be started. This is
Yes, they need the lead up. It's all about like the thrill of the ride there.
this thing with Charlie handing Dennis papers, like, and they do it twice. It is just such a funny idea. What are on these papers?
I don't know. If he wrote something down, obviously Dennis doesn't want to even like try to suss it out what it is. So just move on.
And they are in like they look like his Nightman Cometh play. Like they're just
It's just like a pile of papers. It's not like a neat folder or
they're
something.
like yellow too. They're like not even white. They're like something like yellow. It's interesting. So yeah, so it was Game 5 of the World Series, and they actually had tickets. Ross, do you have any information on the World Series that year?
The World Series that year took place in Philadelphia.
Look at
It was a versus of the Phillies and New York Yankees, I believe. And Game 5 was supposed to start on October 27th. It got rain delayed and pushed over to the 29th.
Okay, so they had.
That's about it.
They had.
Did you have anything?
No, not. I read more of the Wikipedia about the Philadelphia Phillies, and I guess we'll get there later. But yeah,
Oh, do you know anything about their name, Lance?
that's
the
why
Phillies?
I looked them up, because I was like, the Philadelphia Phillies, like
It's like the Boston
I was
Team
gonna say,
or something.
Yeah, it's like the New England Englanders or something. Like, yeah, it's like, but they were actually originally. We'll talk about it now. They were originally the Philadelphia Quakers. You know, going way
I didn't know
back.
that.
And the Phillies just became kind of like a nickname for them. People called them the
Right.
Phillies, and then they just they officially adopted the name the Philadelphia Phillies at like some point in like whatever the 40s or something.
That's interesting because what I got on the Phillies was the newspapers in Philadelphia were just shortened to Phillies at some point.
Yeah, that's the nickname originated.
So that's how it was adopted.
Yeah, it was originated from the papers were nicknaming them the Phillies. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's spelled Phillies, but
Correct.
in this episode it is spelled Philly, and that is for copyright.
Oh, that's part of it?
That is
I
part
didn't
of
know
it.
that part.
Yes.
See, I just thought it was like interchangeable and...
No, whenever you see anybody wearing Philadelphia Phillies merchandise, it's spelled Philly. Even the frenetic. I don't want to get sued. So the frenetic, he even was wearing a Philly. So it's like, yeah, they spell it differently to skirt the copyright laws.
Sure.
The Philadelphia Phillies denied them. Denied them like.
Well, it's interesting because they name certain players.
Yeah, I think players might not be. I think players are free game. You know,
I mean, I think they're owned by Major League Baseball, though.
probably. But you know what's
If the frenetic is not allowed, then...
well, you know what's interesting is like I feel like something like Family Guy or something like they would just say it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they would just say. I wonder what specifically about this was no.
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it later, but yeah, I think there was a similar decision about that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I read a bunch of things about the Philadelphia Phillies just because I literally because I wanted to know the name. I was like, what is up with that name? It's a strange. I never thought about it before until this episode, but
Yeah.
it does sound like
Never
a
had to.
nickname, and it was.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let the record show with the title card, October 28th, 2008. We begin the story with Mac, Charlie, and Frank filling up jugs with grain alcohol when Dennis shows up and they discuss their plan for attending the World Series.
Eric, did we get another like inter-episode title card like this?
Yeah, we have. We've gotten this on The Gang Dances Their Asses Off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Good call.
there might
Good
been
catch.
I know that one specifically comes to mind, and I think there might have been another one, but we've never gotten a date, which is weird.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it's like a date, and it's, I don't think, necessary. And why do they only do it once?
Yeah. Okay.
It really calls.
I mean, maybe.
It really calls attention to the fact that it's the wrong day.
Yeah, I think that's funny too. Maybe even saying that was skirting the law.
That's what I mean. That's why I
Because
said earlier.
if they say like the Phillies had a game on the 28th.
Yeah, right. It's not actually that game. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way it could have been.
I don't exactly know how it works with the World Series, but they do say the World Series, and
I know.
Super Bowl. You can't say Super Bowl like in commercials and stuff. Did you know that?
No.
Next time when the Super Bowl rolls around again, watch commercials. They always say the big game, and in advertisements and stuff, they say the big game. They're like not allowed to say the Super Bowl.
That explains a shirt that I got at a bar like 15 years ago.
What does it say?
It says Super Party.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Not Super Bowl Party. Super Party.
Yeah, they can't say it. It's a copyright. Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny.
But they do say I don't know how it works with the World Series. Maybe it's different because they are talking about the World Series.
I don't know.
So we get this like metal music playing here over the title card. This like rock music.
Yeah, I found the title.
You did.
Berserker by Blues Saraceno.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Charlie is. You see, we this is dropped pretty hard later in the episode, but you see Charlie scratching. He's itchy. You see him scratching right away. We'll find out in a minute what that's all about. And we get a hey yo from Dennis as Dennis comes in. I love a hey yo from anybody, really. Who hasn't done a hey yo? Has Frank done a hey yo?
Maybe not Frank.
Yeah, I think Frank.
Yeah, maybe it's not his thing.
Yeah.
Yet.
We gotta keep an eye on that.
But yeah, Mac is pouring grain alcohol into a jug. Did we talk about that?
Well, yeah, I didn't get there yet, but yeah, that's right. He's pouring.
I think that's the first thing that's happening.
Sure, that's
there.
right.
He's just pouring it in, and he's like pumped. He's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. Are they listening to this music? This like rock music? It seems like
is it diegetic? I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like it only because of how they're acting, how Mac is acting.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have you ever had grain alcohol? Do you know anything about grain alcohol?
I don't think this is like the legal definition, so it'll put me on trial about it. But
On what grounds?
I think it's just clear alcohol. So like vodka, gin, what else?
Well, it doesn't matter because this is false.
Okay.
Yeah, no, being clear has nothing to do with it. Grain alcohol is like this type of like distilled alcohol, whatever it has. It's like crazy high alcohol content where like it's like a chemical. You know what I mean? The chemical formula is C2H2OH. No, C2H5OH. Sorry, if any chemists out there, I apologize to the chemists.
They're screaming.
And this is like it's called 90% pure, which means like it's, you know when you get like something proof.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the highest it can like be up or whatever.
Like concentration.
Yeah, this
level,
is like
I don't know.
concentrated alcohol. It's like there's no frills of anything else in it. You know what I mean? It's just the alcohol. And it is like, it can be used as a gasoline and some stuff. It can be used as a solvent. It's crazy, the type of stuff. And they describe it as volatile. It's volatile.
Yeah, now that you mention the solvent, that makes sense to me. Because that's like something you would use cleaning. Yeah. Like industrial equipment or something.
I think that's why Frank says to put it on his bug bites. So yeah, it's great. I've never had the grain alcohol brand Everclear. Have you heard of Everclear?
The band.
It's like a brand like Jameson whiskey. It's Everclear grain alcohol. That's the only one I've ever seen like in the wild, like an actual person. And yeah, it's like drinking gasoline. It's crazy to me, but people do it.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's wild. But
I wonder if moonshine is a grain.
I don't know. The article that I read here, what is grain alcohol? What is this called? What is grain alcohol and how is it used in spirits? Is like it doesn't mention anything about sort of moonshine or anything like that. It just talks about the way it's distilled and how it's like gets so much insane alcohol in it and all the other right here it says it is flammable and volatile. Grain alcohol is a central nervous depressant and a neurotoxin. So yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. So they're drinking this by the gallonful.
It also is colorless, so it is clear. It's just not all clear.
Okay.
So yeah, so we open up here on Mac, pouring it, and he's obviously mixing it with something because he's making it blue. What do you think he's mixing it with?
Yeah, it does have a blue tint.
Some sort of
I don't know.
Gatorade?
Yeah, that would make sense to me.
It sounds so disgusting. So disgusting.
Yeah, it sounds so gross.
It sounds horrible. So Dennis comes in. We get a hey yo from Dennis, and Charlie, they're like, "What's up, dude? No colors, not supporting the team today." And Dennis is confused because Dennis forgot.
Oh wait, I forgot. Wait a second. Boom!
He does this in one motion.
Thing.
My favorite thing is the one motion of it. Like, oh, I forgot. Oh wait, no, I didn't. Like it happens like so.
Yeah.
He doesn't even like play with them a little bit. Be like, oh really? Oh, I forgot. He just immediately reveals that he's ready. And I love I didn't forget a thing. When he says that, I didn't forget a thing.
Puts a little twang on it.
And he has the Philly, the wrong spelling of Phillies on his chest. Katie made an observation when we were watching this. She says, you wouldn't think he'd have a body like that by looking at him.
What does that mean?
He has a pretty nice body, I think is what she was saying. Like, he's built. He's like, you know what I mean?
Wait, he doesn't look like he's in shape with the shirt on?
Yeah, like she like wouldn't peg him for the type of person that would like look like that underneath the shirt. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I guess I've seen him enough times without a shirt on to know.
Yeah. So, on the World Series, it's the only place where you can blast bare chested. It's a socially acceptable to be blasting bare chest. So he's gonna be blasting bare chest. That term, blasting bare chest.
Oh yes, blasting bare chest the whole time.
Uh,
Frank thinks he's gonna be cold as shit,
yeah,
but you know what? He ain't.
Yeah,
because he's gonna be blasted on grain alcohol.
Yeah, and you know what? He probably would be all right. Probably would be.
Yeah, I think you're right. He'd be like numb.
Yeah. Max says that one. I love this phrasing. Whenever there's a potential riot, he's getting blasted on grain alcohol. Whenever there's a potential riot, it's such a funny phrasing.
Even the chance of like something crazy happening.
And they do this interesting thing here where Dennis yells riot juice and Mac yells rum punch.
Yeah, or riot punch, I think.
Oh, really? I thought he was saying rum.
Oh, no. I thought he said. I thought one said riot punch and then the other said riot juice. So
right. Yeah.
I could be wrong though.
Riot juice is. I guess it's not. It's kind of similar to what people. I don't. There's different slangs for different regions. But when I was growing up, and Ross, do you remember jungle juice?
Jungle juice. No, school me on jungle juice. I don't know.
Jungle juice was just like whatever alcohol you had around mixed with whatever chaser you could get your hands on. So like it would be like whatever gross alcohol and Gatorade. You'd call it jungle juice. It was just like a mix of whatever you had to try to make it taste good.
Jesus. That sounds terrible.
Well, whenever there's a potential riot, you gotta get some.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do. And that's good though. Oh, they get some grain alcohol. That's good. I'm gonna put it on my bug bites.
We're not gonna be wasting any on your bug bites.
Yeah, he says our precious grain alcohol. A precious grain alcohol. And yeah, they're not gonna watch this game sober. Are you crazy?
Yeah, what do you want to remember it?
That's so funny.
It's so funny because it's also like a sports memorable moment. Like your city going to the World Series, like they want to be there. You would think they would want to remember it.
Is it even about that? Like, is it about that for them?
For them, no. For them, no. It's just something chaotic is going to happen, and they want to be a part of it.
I think that's right, yeah. And this is where Charlie and Frank go back to back, and they start rubbing their backs together. And they want an explanation, obviously. and apparently they have bed bugs.
Oh, yeah, we learned that someone from their building brought them back from Haiti, so now there's the whole building is infested.
How does Frank know that? Some
I
guy
don't know.
brought him back from Haiti. How does
that's
Frank
like
know
he's
that?
just blaming. That's a wide blame. That's not real.
But this is a nice little setup for what happens later on. It's a little tease. This is Chekhov's bed bugs. So then let the record show D enters via the ladies' room and goes over the plan for the game with the rest of the gang. So World Series, bitches! Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. They start singing Whoop, there it is. You know Whoop, there it is, Rush? You remember that song?
Yeah, by Tag Team.
By Tag Team, back again. Yeah.
Again.
Going back to our shout out to our
90s.
listeners that grew up in the 90s. Yeah, this song was inescapable.
I loved it.
Did you?
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're going to hear it later on.
We better.
Yeah, it's interesting that they sing it here, and then later on it's playing. They do it twice in this episode. It's interesting. I mean, they pay for the rights, got to use it.
Yeah.
They almost should have did like a womp there something. You know what I mean? To get around the copyright.
Oh my god, that would have been funny if they were skirting everything.
Yeah, skirting every single copyright. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
No, that's comedy. Maxing out everything.
So she comes out here and D has these pink pants on and this awesome shirt where it's like a baseball shirt, but it's like tied up and on the back it says D. It's so awesome. It's really awesome. Like, I love her shirt so much. So they start talking about the plan, and the plan is on, baby girl. The way Dennis says that.
I love that the way he says that.
The plan is on.
Oh shit, yeah, baby girl, plan is on.
When Charlie's confused about the plan, Mac's like, "There's always a plan."
I love that. There's always a scam.
Yeah, they just can't do anything normal. Yeah, it'd be like crazy for them. So Ross, what is their plan exactly?
All right, so in the bottom of the ninth, when the Phillies are up by like 50 or 60 runs, Dennis and Mac are going to beat the shit out of each other to draw attention from the security. And that's when D runs on the field and kisses a player. Oh, whoop, there it is.
Now, Ross, do you know what the first thing that's wrong with their plan is?
Yes. I know what you're going to say. It's the bottom of the ninth.
It's the bottom
when
of
they're up 50 or 60.
Yeah, they don't.
The game is over. There's no game to play.
Yeah, for those who don't know, if you don't know anything about baseball, if the team that is winning is at bat in the bottom of the ninth, they don't even play that because there's no point. They won.
Yeah, they're already winning.
Yeah, so it would just go to the top of the ninth and then be over. So that's the first thing wrong with their plan, I think, is the logistics of it.
I would say the second thing is like, what do they think? There's only like one security guard?
Yeah. They're gonna beat the shit out of each other,
which is, I guess, enough to draw attention of somebody.
But
I've seen videos of fans like fighting for like 15 minutes.
We're gonna learn something about Philadelphia fans later on this episode, that they are animals,
very passionate,
and they'll hammer you, and they are fighting on the street. Like, I don't like them beating the shit at each other would just be kind of normal, it seems, right?
Yes, expect it.
Expect it, yeah.
So
yeah,
like their next thing on the plan is like D is gonna run on the field and kiss a player.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see the heels D is wearing? She's wearing these like crazy high heels. I mean, I'm sure she can run in them, but it's on a field.
Well, she should go head first into a car like the last.
It's like a dirt field, right? Like.
Yeah.
I gotta reiterate again. I absolutely love what Dee's wearing. She's got the best outfit out of all of them. Like, they're not really even that dressed up. She is so.
No.
She looks like. She looks awesome.
But she is.
Yeah.
I hope she's there for the game.
I hope Caitlin Olsen kept that D shirt. It's so cool. So yeah. So that's right. So she's gonna run onto the field. And she's gonna run up and kiss a player. Now, I've seen videos of people doing this. This is like a thing that happens, right?
Yeah, but like, what does the gang get out of this happening?
Well, we're gonna find out. Mac has another plan. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Mac has a motive, but
I'm not sure what Dennis gets out of it, other than
this?
getting the shit kicked out of him. I don't really know. I don't know what Dennis. But there's always a plan, baby girl. So yeah.
Plan is on.
So yeah, Dee's gonna run onto the field, kiss a player, and Charlie will toss on Green Man, and he'll get on to the field
and go crazy as Green Man.
And then whoop, there it ain't.
Whoop, there it goes.
Yeah, whoop, there it goes. That's what it is. Yeah, whoop, there it goes. They don't want him to be Green Man because you see, the Philly Fanatic, he's sort of got it locked down on mascot.
Yeah, he like reigns supreme over there.
Yeah. Now we should talk about this. Let's talk about this guy out of the way. The Fanatic. So his name.
Yeah,
is...
even before we get there,
Okay.
like Charlie wanting to dress up as Green Man, like prior he hasn't wanted to do this. It was usually something like I guess he was pushed into doing.
Right. It was kind of something he put in his past. He was like, "Oh, I did that."
Yeah,
It's
he was
over."
almost like ashamed of doing
He
it,
retired.
but like
Yeah.
I guess this is his last experience. Green Man saved him, so
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That is interesting. I didn't think of that. His motivation here for wanting to be Green Man. Does he want to be a mascot? So
I guess
is that what's happening?
yeah.
So the Philly Fanatic or the Philly Frenetic. In this episode, it's the Philly Frenetic because they're not allowed to. But later on, Charlie does explicitly say his name.
I know.
So what is going on?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's so weird.
Katie's thought was in that ending court scene. He says the fanatic, but he doesn't say the Philly Fanatic. So maybe it's like.
I mean, what's the difference? Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know, but so they're calling him the Frenetic. Now, Ross, if he didn't make that joke at the end of the episode, or if I didn't look up all kinds of information today, I would have no idea. I would be like, oh, his name's the Frenetic. Right?
I would have just assumed I was hearing it incorrectly.
Ross, what's your best fake? We have to get around the copyright for saying the green monster from Fenway Park. We can't say the green monster. What do we say?
Oh, the Green Goblin.
Now Spider-Man's coming after us. Thanks.
Shit. The Green Machine.
The Green Machine. Now, isn't that the name of the Scooby-Doo's van?
Oh, damn it. I'll get one eventually.
All right, you think on that. We'll get you back to you at the end of the show. So he talks about so the Philly Frenetic, he reigns supreme. They don't need Charlie doing this, but Charlie's sick of him. He's sick of him. You know what I mean? He kind of gets like real frustrated here, and it's interesting because later on he's kind of kissing his ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, he really puts it out like he doesn't like the Frenetic right here.
Yeah.
In that he says he has a stranglehold in the mascot scene, and it seems like maybe there's a history of him bumping into the Frenetic at some point.
I wish that it became a thing for sure. I wish we saw more of the Frenetic
More
and
of
Charlie.
this?
Yeah. So, but Frank can't find the tickets.
What are you talking about?
He had the tickets, but he knows where they are. They're on the coffee table in their apartment. So Mac comes up with a plan. Mac's like, they all start panicking, but Mac's like, no, okay, let's do it. Mac has a good plan.
Yeah,
Himself.
He divides and conquers.
Yeah, exactly. Himself, Dee, and Frank are going to go to the apartment and get the tickets, while Charlie and Dennis go to the stadium and like get a good spot for tailgating.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Which they
part of the game is tailgating, I guess, and you need those tickets to get in. So
yeah, exactly. So then they start like going off. They're about to go off and do the thing, and there's this weird thing that happens here at the end where like Frank is like, "Oh, I can't believe all," and Frank's like, "I just
making the
I just been making
sandwiches."
sandwiches," and then he goes, "Oh, by the way," and then Matt goes, "Shut up!" Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Now, what was Frank gonna say? Oh, by the way, shut up! Like, what was he gonna say?
No, I think he was like, "Oh, just making the sandwiches." By the way.
Oh, no,
And
I don't think he like. I was just making sense, and they start leaving. And then he goes, "Oh, and by the way," it's kind of. I feel like he's about to add another piece of information. He's like, "Oh, and by the way,"
whatever it was, what Mac did not want to hear it.
that's all he's that improvised. Like, what is that? Like, he's like, "Shut up!" He says it so.
I think
loud.
it's improvised, and I like it.
I love it. I love it. Just telling him to shut up. Can you imagine if we were hanging out and I told your dad to shut up like that? Like, that's Dennis's dad.
Yeah, they totally don't respect that boundary, I guess.
So let the record show, out in front of Frank and Charlie's apartment, D-Mac and Frank discover the building is being fumigated and they can't get in. So they come walking up here and they're wondering who Dee's going to kiss, and she's thinking Shane Victorino.
The Flying Hawaiian?
The Flying Hawaiian. Yeah, you look up Shane
Yeah,
Victorino?
no, it's center field. It's like, it's way too far.
It is kind of far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little far.
That is far.
Did you look
You
up
would see
anything
it
on
coming.
Shane Victorino?
No. Does he have any cool stats?
Does he have any cool stats? I don't know. I looked up his Wikipedia here. Russ, he did play for the Boston Red Sox for a while.
I knew he was familiar.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He played for a while. Yeah, and he played for a while, and I don't know. Let's see here. He's got 108 home runs and 489 runs batted in. Is that good?
In 1 year?
I think all time.
His lifetime.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Better
know.
than me.
We'll see later when we get to Ryan Howard and Chase Utley. We'll see how that stacks up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too far. And then as they turn the corner here, Frank goes, balls. That's his way of saying, like, oh no. He says, balls. And
Yeah,
apparently, the building is all, it's got that, like, have you ever seen this in real life?
No, just in movies.
Yeah, movies and stuff like this, like.
This like circus tent covering.
It's got to
like,
be
the
real,
whole
though.
Building.
It's got to be real, right?
Oh, I think it is.
Yeah, I've never seen it in real life. How did they do it in his apartment is like up against other apartments. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's strange how it is.
It's not like they're really isolating the building.
Yeah, it's not like, because like it's weird. It's very weird. And so it's got this big circus tent like thing in front of it. And how could Frank not have known they were bug bombing his apartment?
What is he supposed to read every piece of paper that slides under the door?
Yeah, it could be another registered sex offender in the neighborhood or something. Someone that looks like Mac. Who knows? Yeah, so he can't be reading every flyer. And okay, you know what? They'll go buy gas masks. They'll go buy gas masks. That's his.
I mean, it's a it's a good option, but they don't have the time for that.
So long, like
yeah.
Buy a gas mask. It's really funny to see them show up later in gas masks. So they're like, no. They're like, just get under there, just get under there. And he opens it up, and all the smoke comes out of it and everything. They're all coughing. It's bad. Fine. Mac will scale the building, break through the window. That'll cut down on occupancy time. Occupancy time.
What does he mean by that?
What does he mean by that? He means occupancy time. He means less time inside the building. By going from the outside, it'll be less time than inside. Occupant.
Well, either way, they have to go from the outside.
That's true, I guess. But I think what he's saying is climbing the building and going through the window will cut down on going under.
Sure, Mac. Sure.
Yeah. And this is so funny. Like, I love this aspect of Mac that thinks he's capable of anything.
Mm-hmm.
This, like, extreme confidence. It's something I don't understand.
They really, like, put him down this episode. They really, like, give him such a hard time, especially with, like, the on the record, off the record.
Yeah.
And especially with these things, like, how are we going to get in the building? I can scale the building. Like, you cannot do that.
Yeah, he says you're not capable of that. And he gets, I don't know how they did not laugh. There must have been a million takes for this.
Oh, sure.
He gets, like, up in her face, and he says, I absolutely have the core strength to be able to do that. And she goes right back at him. I love how she just goes, are you serious?
I know, she goes closer into him.
Yeah.
Like, they were already, like, touching. Like, are you kidding me?
She calls his bluff. Like, calls his bluff. I love it. And she goes back at him. Are you serious? They look over, and Frank's calling the boys. I love how he says, I'm calling the boys.
Sounds like an old man thing to say.
Yeah. So then let the record show. We cut over to the stadium parking lot, and after hearing Frank D and Mac are going to be late, Charlie and Dennis come up with their own plan to get in. They abandon this tailgate thing real quickly, even in the fact that Dennis backed into his spot. So, I mean, I guess you don't really have to hang out the back, but you could. I mean, he could pop the back of that thing, and it's a pretty big truck, you know, the
Oh yeah, sure.
The Range
they could
Rover.
party out of that thing.
But he backs into a spot, and they get out. They have nothing with them. They only have a quarter of a jug of riot juice. That's them tailgating.
I guess. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think they're waiting for the cavalry to come.
And we get a very, very rare Dennis and Charlie team up. It doesn't happen all that often. It's just the two.
I was
of them.
thinking of this, yeah, because we never really see like Frank D and Mac together. Like,
yeah, it's an interesting.
It's a weird combo.
It's an interesting pairing. Yeah, it is. You'd almost think like the normal pairing would be Mac and Charlie go get the tickets, and Dennis D and Frank go tailgating. Would be like the more normal team up.
Or a 2 and 2, and then
a 1.
Frank does his own thing.
Yeah. Or D usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So whatever. Screw them. They're gonna screw them, right? They're gonna go and what? They're gonna they're gonna sneak in. They're just gonna get. They're just completely gonna abandon their friends. Like the first bump in the road.
I know. This is like, I mean, it's not even definite yet. All they have to do is go in and get the tickets. But they're like, no, you can't breathe that. It's poisonous smoke.
Yeah.
It's like toxic. Like, screw them. So they're out. But how are they gonna get in?
Yeah, how are they gonna get in? Well, Charlie's like, well, there's a couple ways. They could always take the tunnel from the Holiday Inn. Now they're saying the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, Holiday Inn.
Oh, with an O. They're not saying H. Not saying holiday.
Right.
They're saying,
OLLIDAY.
Is this necessary?
I don't know. I think it's also pointing maybe Holiday Inn.
Holiday
Inn in a bad light. Like saying they don't change their linens and stuff.
Yeah, but so what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a comedy show. Like, I feel like other shows would just say it. You know,
but I'm not the CEO of Holiday Inn. And
yeah, maybe he's a stickler. Yeah, maybe they take their sheet changing very seriously.
Very seriously.
Maybe they actually have a dungeon and they don't want it to come out.
Yeah, that's also true. They could also have like a torture dungeon.
So yeah, there's this. So apparently, there's this secret tunnel that goes from the Holiday Inn all the way to the stadium, because it's for away teams, so they don't get hammered by the fans. Now,
right,
this term "hammered" is gonna
yes.
be be near and dear to us for the
all
rest of
over
the episode.
Place. Yes,
it's like
the term "hammered" specifically
hammered.
they could have said "beat up" or like
they'll say it like,
I don't know why hammer seems so like vicious.
Yeah, it seems
like
worse.
Pounding. Like I think.
And, Philly fans are very passionate. They're really passionate fans. They're really depositing this world where Philly fans will like just beat the shit out of everyone for no reason. Like, everyone, the away team, like the fans are gonna beat up the away team. It's crazy. It's crazy. Dennis doesn't believe it though. He doesn't believe this. This can't be right. But then a little, he kind of is like as Charlie's explaining Philly fans, he kind of does go like, well, maybe kind of.
That is true. Yeah, that is a good reason why a tunnel would be there.
Yeah.
It doesn't still mean a tunnel is there.
But of course, there's gonna be guards there too.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't be free range.
What else could they do?
Well, they could always use the Charlie 1-2.
The Charlie 1-2. Now, the two steps are very interesting. Now, I don't know why this is called the Charlie 1-2. It's a very strange name for what it is. But what he wants him to do is jump in front of a car and then say, if you don't give me your tickets, that's step one. Step one is jump in front of a car. Step two is give me your tickets or I'll sue you. And then there you go. The Charlie 1-2.
It's a two-step. It seems clean to me.
He wants Dennis to do this.
He's done it too many times, and this next one might be his last.
I love that. Next one could be my last. But when he does explain what the Charlie 1-2 is to Dennis's reaction is so good. He's just like, no. Sounds like,
dude, you're drinking so much riot juice, you get a bounce right off that thing.
Just being like, no. Like, yeah, of course, no. And so Dennis is saying, like, well, it's called the Charlie 1-2. Maybe he should do it.
Yeah,
and it takes a little bit convincing. They're going back and forth, but finally, fine. Charlie will do it. He'll do it. Yeah.
A lot of whining there.
Yeah. It takes a little too. Yeah, I don't know. He should have just said, "I'll do it," and then pushed him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not even
easy.
Yeah. So then, let the record show. We cut to sometime later as Dennis and Charlie execute the Charlie 1-2. The first car, too shitty. Too shitty.
Yeah, you need rich people tickets.
Rich people tickets. Yeah, exactly. And the second car, bad angle.
Bad angle.
Bad angle. This would be so scary. Like, would you do this?
No.
No.
Like a ton of metal like running over you. I would be crushed to death.
Can I suggest?
I'm not go to a baseball game.
Can I suggest a much easier way for them to get tickets?
Scalpers?
Buy them off a scalper. Yeah, buy them off.
I didn't want to say the term, but yeah, buy them off scalpers.
Yeah, buy them off somebody that is selling them at the game.
Sure.
You're gonna pay a shit ton more, but you're also not gonna get hit by a car.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do anything to avoid getting hit by a car.
Yeah, and doesn't Frank have like absurd money?
Yeah.
Frank lost them. Make him buy new ones.
He's a disposable bank.
Yeah,
I mean,
he lost them. He should buy new ones. So it was bad. It was a bad angle. Next car is coming, pushes Dennis into the road, gets hit by the car, and the the subtitles said ingenuous screaming. Disingenuous screaming.
Yeah, screaming disingenuously.
That's what, yeah, screaming
is what it said on mine.
disingenuously. He's like,
I laughed so hard at that because I was like,
screaming. And let the record show, we then quickly cut back to the courtroom where the judge wants to clarify a few things. So we cut right back. And he's like, yeah, so my friend pushed me in front of a car. And then Charlie does the lawyer voice thing here. I love this.
Yeah.
These were dire times. Like,
we needed to get those tickets.
his inflection is very funny.
Yeah. It's like kind of like old timey, like Southern lawyer or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's all over the place.
And so the judge does this thing where in improv, it's a thing I used to do that I love doing. I love when I hear it, where the voice of reason in the scene simply states back basically everything that the other people have said and done, just to sort of be like,
so you guys try to scam your way into the game by throwing each other in front of cars with hopes of extorting tickets from the drivers.
And I like that she uses the term extorting, because it's like they're talking about a crime.
It's like a blatantly like calling out the crime at hand.
Well, let the record show that that Mac, Dennis, and Frank don't condone the actions.
I love that line.
And by the
it's
way,
just so funny because he points at himself,
right.
D, and Frank, and then points at Dennis and Charlie.
I also like that it is a team. It is D, Frank, and Mac. You know what I mean? Like they're like separate from what they're the team. Like the
yeah, they really had nothing to do with that.
And he doesn't have to keep saying let the record show. The record is always showing.
Are you sure? Because she's not typing very quickly.
The way Kate Lewis goes, "Are you sure?" I love the way she says that. Are you sure? Because she's never. She's paraphrasing Ross. She's getting the gist.
You know, I do not appreciate being paraphrased. I choose my words very deliberately.
Maybe one of the most Mac sentences that have like ever been said
of all time.
I choose my words very deliberately.
Very deliberately.
I don't care to be paraphrased too. It's very funny.
I don't care. I love saying that actually. I don't care.
So Dee picks up the story. Dee starts continuing the story. And so she starts off here saying how Mac was scaling the building. So then let the record show, we cut to outside of Frank and Charlie's apartment where Mac and Dee discuss Mac's letter to Chase Utley while Frank uses a garden hose to enter the building.
Well, it's just I couldn't get a good grip.
Is it the grip? Is the grip the problem?
Hey, you guys, look, I found this garden hose, right? I'm gonna use it to pump fresh air into the building and breathe into it like a scuba diver.
That actually seems like it could work.
Okay, yeah, let's give it a shot.
I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah.
Okay, go right. Go.
Okay, how is it?
What?
I'm getting
Yeah,
Get in.
you're in?
World Series, here we go.
All right.
Pre-game.
Pre-game in. Let's pre-game.
All right, D. Let's get back to this player selection conversation, okay? Because I got some thoughts.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Ryan Howard, right? What?
Look, if it's me, I'm going Chase Utley 100% of the time. He's a power-hitting second baseman, D. You know how rare that is in the National League?
Well, yeah, and he's hot, which is like number
course
one on
he
my
is.
list. But I really like Ryan Howard.
Now, you're kissing Chase Utley, and that's it.
Why are you pushing Chase Utley on me? It's starting to get weird.
Okay, look, I have a plan, all right? And it involves you getting this letter to him when you get out there to kiss him. Now, I have given this to Major League Baseball, his lawyer, his manager, his mom, and he has not gotten back to me, which means he hasn't gotten it yet. So just...
Okay. What is in this letter?
That's none of your business, all right? Just get it to Chase.
Did you write a love letter to Chase Utley? Is that...
In a lot of ways, yes, I do love him, but that is not a love letter in the way that you're thinking of it, okay? There's nothing sexual or...
Okay. That sounds good.
pal
I'm
around.
gonna read it.
Yeah, read it.
Dear Chase, oh shit, there's stickers.
Yeah.
My God. Oh,
Well, you
this
gotta
is
jazz
good.
it up, you
Yeah,
know?
you sure do.
I wanna make it
You
pop.
sure do. Dear Chase, I feel like I can call you Chase because you and me are so much alike. Really. I would love to meet you someday. It would be great to have a catch. I know I can't throw as fast as you, but I think you would be impressed with my speed. I love your hair. You run fast. Did you have a good relationship with your father? Me neither. These are all things we can talk about and more. I know you have not been getting my letters because I know you would write back if you did, and I hope you write back this time and we get to be good friends. I am sure our relationship would be a real home run.
So we start off here with like,
What a great cut to.
I know, because she says he's scaling the building.
Scaling the building and they're like just standing next to each other.
Yeah.
He's still like just pawing at the thing.
He can't get a
The
good
tent.
grip, dude. It's not his fault. He can't get a good grip.
Oh, is it the grip that's the problem?
Now Frank comes up here with a garden hose, and he explains like he's gonna like do like a scuba diving thing. Now this would be so
Does this work?
hard. I don't think this will work. You know why this
I
won't
don't
work?
think it's so
because
either.
no air is being pumped into the hose, so he'd have to
Mm-hmm.
suck so hard to get the air on the opposite end of the hose. You know what I mean? You'd have to.
But also, is he just like exhausting his air back into the hose? Or is he like exhausting out of his nose?
I think he
like, how is
exhaust.
that?
I think you would exhaust into the thing. Hold your breath. Put the thing to your mouth. Suck in. Hold your breath till you're done. Let it out. Hold your breath. You do it like that.
Oh, okay. I don't know what he's doing.
But you'd have to suck so hard, like
yeah, to get fresh
to
air.
get fresh air. Like air is not being pumped into it. So once you get whatever little air is at the front of that thing, it's like a straw. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like it'd be so difficult. But yeah, so so he comes up with a gun. That's his plan, and they're like, "Shit, yeah, okay, let's do it." And Frank goes inside, and I love how they like can't really hear him. He's like muffled.
Yeah, he's kind of like, World Series, here we come.
Yeah, he's in there. And that's good. Great. They're gonna go pregame.
I'd like to call out that he said his eyes were burning the first time he tries
Yeah.
to go in there.
I know. He's got nothing over his
My
eyes.
eyes are burning. Like he like moves into the air for a second. He's like, my eyes are burning.
So they're gonna go pregame, and they start talking about who they're gonna kiss, who she's gonna kiss, and she's thinking Ryan Howard. Russ, you know who Ryan Howard is?
Tell us.
Well, Ryan
I'm
Howard.
assuming he's a baseball player.
He's a baseball player. His nickname is the Big Piece. Piece.
What?
The Big Piece. It's a good nickname.
Like PACE?
Piece, like piece, like a piece of something.
Okay,
The
I
big-
thought he was like peace and love,
No,
like
no,
the big
no.
piece.
the Big Piece, and it's a good nickname. It's not as good as the Flying Hawaiian, but it's good. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
Flying Hawaiian is so cool.
It's so good. Yeah, it's so good. And yeah, so he played baseball here for a while, and he has 382 home runs and 1,194 runs batted in,
Wow, making Shane Victorino look like a bitch.
making Shane Victorino shame Victorino.
Whoa.
Strike that from the record.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and by the way, Ross, Ryan Howard comes back on Always Sunny in Philadelphia in the episode The Gang Gets Stranded in the Woods when they go to that benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan
That's
Howard
right.
is
I do remember a baseball player showing
it's
up.
Ryan
but
Howard and Chase
with him.
Utley.
Yeah.
They show up later on. Yeah.
So we do get like some sort of resolution there.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, they do come back. So yeah, this is the first little mention of Ryan Howard, but Mac's really not into that. If you're asking Mac, he's going for Chase Utley 100% of the time.
100% of the time. And why is that?
Well, he's very adamant about getting D to go after Chase Utley, and he kind of reveals his plan here that he has a letter that he wants her to give to Chase Utley when she runs out on the field to kiss him.
Yeah, because D's like feeling the pressure of like, you're really pushing,
Yeah.
Chase Utley on. What's going on here?
And this letter that he needs her, he's given to MLB, he's given to the lawyer, his manager, his mom. That's crazy.
And he hasn't gotten back, which means like, obviously he just hasn't gotten
Yeah,
it
that's
yet.
obviously what it means. Have you ever written like a fan letter to any celebrity or anything?
Celebrity? No.
No. Or have you written a fan letter to someone that wasn't a celebrity?
I mean, like, good show the other night. Like
Like a band?
things like that. Yeah, if someone like posts like pictures of the show.
No, I'm talking
Like I
written
wouldn't say it's a fan. It's like
handwrit-
more like a comment on like a picture on Instagram, being like, "Oh, cool! I was there the other night. Blah blah blah. Great show."
I'm talking a handwritten letter.
No,
Me either. An email? Have you ever emailed the podcast or anything?
Todd Glass.
You have.
Yeah,
For-
I emailed him. I gave him a bit, and he did the bit.
Oh,
on the
that's
show.
I
forgot what the
remember
bit
that.
was.
And he said your name too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I've emailed a couple podcasts here and there.
Which ones?
I've emailed Screw It. We're just going to talk about comic books. Screw It. We're just going to talk about comics. Is really what it's called. That's Will Hines and his brother Kevin Hines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does a bunch of the Screw-Its, right?
Yeah, Screw. We're just gonna talk about the Beatles. Yeah, a bunch of different ones. Yeah. And I've emailed and we used to. I've emailed Who Charted back in the day. I think I did. I forget what happened. They did read something I sent them. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, here and there. I don't know. It's cool.
Oh, cool.
So Dee does this thing here too, where like the way it's the acting. It's Caitlin Olsen's acting. She says, "Did you write a love letter, Chase Utley?" Like the way she says it, she like leans in and she like kind of like says it under her breath.
In a lot of ways, yes, I do love him, but that is not a love letter in the way that you're thinking of it.
That is an incredible response. Ross, if you and I were in an improv scene and that was your response, you'd be
Yes.
carried off stage as a hero for coming up with that. Yes, I do. In a lot of ways, I do.
Because you
love
have
him.
to agree,
Yes.
really. It's about agreement,
Yeah.
improv. So, like, yes, I do love him.
In a lot of ways, yes, I do love him. In a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways. On many, many grounds, he loves him.
And even yeah, exactly. And even like when she says like, "Did you write a love letter?" She's like, even Mac, like Rob McElhenney's acting of like, he like not sure if he wants to say it. No, you know what I mean? Like, and so she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna read it. And she opens it up, and oh shit, there's stickers.
Like, right away, like, that hits her. Well, you want it to pop.
You gotta make it pop.
Gotta make it pop.
And so she reads the letter. We all just heard her read it. Ross, what are some of your favorite moments of this letter? Oh, by the way, for the purposes of this clip, I did extend a little bit into when she's finished reading in the courtroom, but I am going to cut that to next scene when we do it here. But I did have her read the whole thing.
Oh, okay, great.
Because you got to hear it. I mean, you just have to hear it.
You gotta feel it.
You got to feel it. My favorite is, "You'll be impressed with my speed." I think is my favorite part of all that. You'll be impressed with, and Ross, speed's the name of the game. Speed is everything. I just love the I think you.
I thought respect was the name of the game.
They got a lot of names for games. So and the look she gives too when she goes, "Impressed with my speed," and she like, looks up at him.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? Oh man, it is so funny. What do you got? You got
It
anything?
sounds so like childish.
Yeah.
Did you have a good relationship with your father?
Me neither.
Like, right away.
Yeah. And while she's reading this, Mac is like, he's got his hands on his hips and he's looking kind of proud and he's mouthing along
Yeah.
some of the lines. And
Yeah,
he'll like
some of the
shake
words,
his head
yeah.
no or shake his head yes and like certain things. And it is just so funny. And we should talk about it now. We actually talked about it a little bit before we were recording, but Chase Utley actually recorded a reply to this letter. And
Oh, yeah, we should probably drop that in at maybe the end of this, like, the scene we're talking about now.
Okay.
We can just, like, plug in his reply.
I say we drop it in right now.
Hi, I'm Chase Utley, and today on Philly's Mailbag, I'll be answering a letter from a Philadelphia youngster named Mac. Here's what Mac writes. Dear Chase, I feel like I can call you Chase because you and me are so much alike. I would love to meet you someday. It would be great to have a catch. I know I can't throw as fast as you, but I think you would be impressed with my speed. I love your hair, you run fast. Do you have a good relationship with your father? Me neither. These are all things that we can talk about, and more. I am sure our relationship would be a real home run. Rooting for you always, Mac. Thanks, Mac. Great letter. Here's my letter back to Mac. Dear Mac, I feel like I can call you Mac because you called me Chase. Sorry it took me 5 years to write you back, but I'm really busy playing a lot of baseball for the Phillies. Thank you for the compliment on my hair. It's my fourth favorite thing after baseball, running fast, and my dad. I'm sorry your dad doesn't like you. Maybe you could become a better son. Meeting you and having a game of catch sounds like a lot of fun, but like I said, I'm really busy playing a lot of baseball for the Phillies. I hope you have a good life. Fans like you make my life a grand slam. Your good friend, Chase. And that's it for Philly's Mailbag.
So yeah, isn't that interesting that he did that? It's cool.
Yeah, I think it's like pretty funny.
Yeah.
And fun. Like just like have a sense of humor, and I think it. I don't know. Part of me wants to say like, you know how they're talking about which player, like did these certain players turn down?
Oh,
like,
I don't know.
It's Always Sunny to some degree, and so like they're saying no, but like really pushing Chase Utley.
If I was writing the show, I wouldn't even ask. Do you know what I mean?
Neither. I let someone else tell me I can't.
Exactly. I don't care enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't. You know, I don't know. But I do love the part in Chase's reply when he says like, "Oh, I'm sorry about your relationship with your father. Maybe you should try being a better son." It's like a
real blame game
pretty
there.
interesting, pretty interesting
Blaming
tidbit.
the
But
victim.
very cool that he did that. So yeah, like I said,
Yeah, like when a celebrity has like some sort of like sense of humor and sense of self.
oh, definitely, 100%. Yes, I love when a celebrity plays themselves in something, but they're like a heightened, crazy version of themselves. Like
Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasm does that a lot.
Oh yeah,
It's like
that's my favorite instance.
Yeah, it's like a real person, but they act like kind of crazy, like not how they would really
Mm-hmm.
act in real life. So let the record show. We cut to the courtroom where we see Dee is reading the letter to the court, and after everyone makes sure that stays on the record, we cut back to the story. So we cut to the courtroom like while Dee is reading it. I let that clip play out to the end of the letter, but the letter finishes in the courtroom, which is an incredible choice to be like,
Yes.
this is also happening actually at the courtroom.
Yeah, because it's such a good scene. Like you kind of get enveloped in it. You kind of forget they're explaining in front of the judge in a court. Like it's funny to have that back and forth.
She had the wherewithal to bring the letter. She brought the letter.
Yeah.
And the way the other gang is acting, this is not the first time they're hearing it. Like they've already talked about this. It's already been discussed. And Mac is smiling. Mac is proud of this.
Yeah.
He does the bat
He's,
swing.
like, pretty proud.
He does like a swing in the ball because
like he's
our relationship
articulating parts of the letter.
Our
like,
relationship would be a real home run.
Home
And then he
run.
does like the home run thing. And everyone starts laughing. But of course they're laughing. It's taken out of context.
Well, there was no right context for that.
Strike that from the record. Strike that from the record. That and then Frank.
No, that one stays on the
record.
Frank.
Can they
funny.
strike something from the record? Do they have that ability?
I guess if they're representing themselves, I guess they can say things like that. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. So yeah, moving on. That's what the judge wants. Let the record show. We cut right back to where we left off, in front of Frank and Charlie's apartment, as Dee has just finished reading the letter. And what did Mac want to accomplish with this letter? Like, what is he trying to accomplish?
Well, after Chase reads the letter, he's going to realize that he always wanted a younger brother.
A younger brother. Now, Dee says that he's about 5 years younger than Mac.
Which is funny because every time I hear about an athlete
Yeah.
in the news or whatever, and like sometimes I'll Google them and then it'll say like they're like 22, and I'm like, oh shit. Like I can't even imagine being 22.
I know.
I'm so old.
I know. And according to the wiki, Mac is 28 in episode in the first season, episode 3. Mac is mentioned as being 28, which makes him born in 1977. Chase Utley is born in 1978.
Oh wow, so he's 1 year younger.
Yeah, is that interesting?
In real life.
In real life, yeah. So they start realizing the hose is gone, and they
A little too late.
A little too late.
I'm glad they were keeping an eye on things.
and they go inside. So does Charlie live on the first floor?
I don't know. I think I recall Dee staying at the apartment at one point and then falling downstairs.
Yes. And also Frank
Remember she was
falls
like
out.
Magoo
doesn't-
for a minute?
And Frank falls out of the window. I think it's the second
Yes.
story.
Yeah, so at least has to be the second story.
Yeah. So they come running in here. There's smoke everywhere, and they see Frank face down. I love the choice of halfway out of the door.
Yeah.
It reminds me of them like at the when they open the back of the trailer and the gang hits the road,
Yes,
and they're
and
like
they're
at
face
the
down.
end of it. They're like at the
Yeah.
like they're trying to get out.
Didn't make it.
Frank can't find the tickets, and Frank thinks those bug bomb bastards took it. Ross, I propose that our next Always Sunny trivia team name is the Bug Bomb Bastards. Either that or
Our first Always Sunny trivia
first,
team name.
Our first one. Either that or a punk band we start. And do you think that's what happened?
Maybe. Why not?
I think it was we're going to talk about it later, but I think it was a missed opportunity where, you know, the guys who come back, is that a hate crime? No, let's hammer his ass anyways. Those guys that come back from season 1.
Yes.
I think it was a missed opportunity to not have them wearing exterminator gear or leaning up against exterminator.
Just like
truck.
place them or tie that in somehow.
They stole the tickets.
We got conclusion on something.
Yeah, like they are the ones that took the tickets. Would be, I think, an interesting tie-in of like, oh shit, that's
that
what
would have been nice.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
I think that.
But it does bother me we don't see a conclusion to that.
Yeah, we never really like. I think our improv coach would say we never found out what happened to the tickets.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we needed to know.
yeah. So they all start dry heaving, and this scene is long. I mean, they spend some time.
And they are retching.
They're retching, and they spend some time showing you this. This takes a long time.
Yeah, Mac makes a weird choice to like step over Frank in the doorway and just lay down.
Yeah. I think he's supposed to be like he drops down, but it just looks like the actor lays down.
Yeah, he was very lazy. But I think Frank was selling it hard in that vomit scene, that like dry heaving scene, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's gross. Katie won't even look at it.
His eyes look like they were gonna pop out of his head.
Yeah, their eyes are all filled with blood. We'll talk about that later. So then, let the record show, we cut over to Charlie and Dennis at the stadium when Charlie spots the Philly Frenetic, and after talking to him a bit, he gets into a fight with him. Dennis is hurt. He's all upset. He got blasted, got creamed.
Yeah, he's sitting on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
With some riot punch.
Yeah.
He looks like hell.
Yeah, he's
Like,
fucked up.
he looks bad.
And Charlie comes up here, and Charlie comes up, and he got him a soft pretzel. Now, he says, I got you a soft pretzel, dog.
It almost sounds like he got him a soft pretzel dog.
Yeah, but I thought it was a soft pretzel dog.
I thought so, too.
Until I saw the
He's like,
captions.
I want a pretzel.
The captions are DAWG, like dog.
Yeah.
So I got you a soft pretzel, dog. I think that is like what's happening. And you can see the pretzel. It's not a pretzel dog.
What is a pretzel dog?
A pretzel dog is like a hot dog that's like jammed inside of like a pretzel. It's like a pretzel's baked.
Oh, I didn't even think that was a real
yeah,
thing.
oh, definitely. That's a real thing. I even looked it up to see if it's like a Philly like stadium. You know, we have Fenway Franks.
Yeah, like local treat.
Yeah, or Fenway Franks.
Like a local treat.
It's like from the stadium. I thought maybe a pretzel dog was like a Philadelphia stadium thing, you know? But no, it looks like a regular pretzel. I think he is saying DAWG, dog. I got you a pretzel, dog, which is strange.
Yeah, DAWG popped up on mine.
Which is strange language for Charlie, I think.
I say dog all the time.
Yeah, but does Charlie like say it like that? Really? Not really.
I think he's trying to cheer him up.
He is. And Dennis
He's
slaps
trying to
it
bring
away.
up the energy a little bit.
And Dennis slaps it out of his hand. He doesn't want his pretzel. He doesn't want a soft pretzel.
Yeah, he might be bleeding internally.
And that's where he sees the Philly Frenetic, and he's going to go talk some shop to him. He's going to, like, have him get them into the game, you know, because they're both mascots.
That's a good idea.
Is it?
It's a start. It's a start.
He comes running up to the Philly Frenetic dressed as Green Man. And he does this dance that is so funny. It's like, it reminds me of Billy Higdon for some reason. Just the
Green Man.
Just the way this guy dances. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like silly in like the way I think he would.
The Philly Frenetic is credited.
Really? Let's hear it.
Yeah. His name is John Ponzio. He was in Leaving L.A., Sunny with a Chance, AP Bio, and From Dusk Till Dawn.
He was in From Dusk Till Dawn, really?
That's a cool movie.
Yeah, that movie's nuts. Yeah, I watched it fairly recently with Katie. It's our first time seeing it.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
He runs up to the Frenetic here, and they hug, and everything's kind of like good and nice at first. But Charlie wants to start talking man to man, you know, mascot to mascot. Does Charlie think he's a mascot of what?
I think Charlie wants in on the mascot game to some degree.
Is that what
he's already talked about the mascot scene?
Is that what Green Man always has been? What was Green Man originally?
Oh, I think he would show up to like football games or something like
that.
that.
So it is like a mascot thing.
Yeah, so I guess it is a team sporting event thing.
Now, people started doing this in real life.
Yes. This is like a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like tons of people are doing it now.
So he's talking man-to-man, mascot to mascot. He wants to know if he can get Charlie into the game. This is a pretty big ask.
This is a huge ask. I mean, they don't even know each other.
And he gets bumped.
And I don't think the frenetic has any pull.
No, and the frenetic bumps him.
Yeah, I mean, even before that, when they hug, like, the frenetic slaps him in the butt.
Yeah, he does. I think the frenetic's supposed to be a bit of a rascal.
A bit of a rapist?
Well, no, I mean, like
if I did that,
yeah.
I'd be arrested.
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing that. But you know,
No matter what type of rascal he is.
but yeah, I think he's supposed to be mischievous. Yeah, he's like slapping people around and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is so he wants to get in the game. He belly bumps him. Charlie doesn't. Charlie doesn't care for this. He's he's trying to talk to the man
Takes
behind the
offense.
mask, and he wants to know if he wants to know if this is this Philly frenetic taking Charlie seriously.
Is that when he does the
Yeah.
thing that comes out of his face?
Out of his nose. It's a very cool thing. Like, it's a cool part of that costume is like you can blow
Like,
into
did they
something.
build this? I want to know so
He-
much about this costume.
I mean, yeah, he looks like the Philly fanatic. He basically looks like him. And
Yeah, but like they hooked this thing up. I mean, they could have done anything.
yeah. And he does this like thing where he blows and like this like tongue type thing. Like it's either his nose or his mouth or like this like tongue like thing comes like
It looks like a tongue, or I
yeah,
guess.
because I love it. I think it's so funny to do.
I didn't see it coming, and I was like, what? "Oh!"
And Charlie does this thing. I love it so much. Charlie does this
Like right away.
right away. That's part of the why
Like
I
he
love it.
hardly waits.
That's why I
He's
love
not
this one.
swinging
Like
at him.
the tongue thing isn't even back in yet, and he's like, and he does this thing where he goes like slap punch punch, slap punch punch. It's like slap punch punch. It's so good the way he does it. It's like it happens so fast.
He says a Charlie 1 2 3.
Yeah, exactly. And he starts
Hammering.
yeah, he starts fighting the Philly fanatic, and we cut over to these two guys, Ross. These two guys that are back from season 1. Is that crazy?
Yes. Dennis Hogan and Dennis Hart.
Yeah,
They were in Charlie Has Cancer.
yeah, they hammered Mac on behalf of
Yeah.
Carmen.
Carmen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and is this the last time we see them?
Something tells me we see them again. I don't know why.
I think they should hammer everyone in the game at some point because they hammer.
that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Like they isolate each one of them.
Yeah.
Because they're down 2 now.
Yeah, and so they see this going on, and just like the other one, they say, "Is that a hate crime?" Yeah, that's a hate crime, and they go after Mac. This one, is that a hate crime? No, it's not a hate crime,
No,
but
it's not a hate crime.
you want to hammer his ass anyway. I love a hammer his ass
Definitely.
anyway.
My hammer his ass.
And they pick him up and they start carrying away and they start beating the shit out of him, and we get a whoop, there it is.
There it is.
Whoop, like that starts getting played like louder as they like
From like a car or something, right?
yeah, I think it's from a car. And it's interesting. I love how they carry Charlie over behind the car, so we really can't see what's going on.
Yeah,
I mean,
out of
they can just
view.
like do wild shit.
It's funny that they both pick him up so easily.
Yeah,
Like he looks like he's so easy to pick up. But you know what? I'm gonna say, let the record show, Charlie got the best of the frenetic.
oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think he beat his ass. He hammered his
Yeah,
ass.
he hammered him. Yeah, he did. You're right. Yeah, it's a slap 1 2. Yeah, and he just like got on top of him.
The frenetic got hit a lot more times
Yeah.
than
That's
hit
true.
Charlie.
So then, let the record show. We cut over to Mac, Frank, and Dee showing up at the stadium, and after an argument about core strength, Dennis and Mac get into a push-up competition.
Yo, Dennis! Yo, bud, where you going, dude?
God damn it!
But what happened here?
Charlie pushed me in front of the goddamn car. That's what happened.
You look terrible.
Why are your eyes all filled with blood? On account of the poison.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, where were you going? We gotta get to the stadium. Look,
No,
it's starting to get packed.
Just forget about it, okay? It's impossible to get into the stadium. Trust me. Take my word for it.
No, that's not good enough. We gotta get in so Dee can kiss Chase Utley.
Well, how the hell are you planning on getting in there, Mac?
You put me on the spot. First thing that comes to my head, scaling the facade. I know I soured on that earlier, but I believe that is my mind telling me that I have it in me.
Okay, I hate to tell you this, bro, but you do not have the core strength to scale the facade of Citizens Bank. You just
What?
don't.
I work out all the time.
Yeah, but you only work out your glamour muscles, and you know it.
I work out my core.
No, you do not work out your core. You're totally arm heavy. You're all bis and tris, and everything else is just fat and ribs.
Bro, I can do way more push-ups than you, and that's like 16 different muscle groups. I
That
think.
is beyond retarded, what you're saying right now. I can do way more push-ups than you, even though I was just hit by a car.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So while this whole scene is happening, because Dennis is walking and they come out, you can see Charlie getting hammered in the background. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I think that's funny. It's like a continuity thing.
Yeah.
Like,
And he's right, like their friend is right there getting hammered.
right there getting hammered.
And Dennis is all hurt, and this is where Mac and Frank and Dee come up, and their eyes are all filled with blood. They look all crazy and sick. And so does Dennis does too. And
they've all been through hell.
They got when asked about the blood in the eyes, Frank says that's on account of the poison. That's a good like with Dennis not knowing any background of it's on the account of the poison. And they're basically like, okay, we can't get in. There's nothing to do. But Max starts freaking out. Dee has to get in there and kiss Chase Utley. It's very important.
It's very important that Matt gets in there.
What are they going to do? They don't know. They don't know how to get in. What are they supposed to do?
Scale the facade. I know we saw it on that earlier, but I believe it's my mind telling me I have it in me.
Facade is such a great term. And then I love how his attention goes off of Dennis onto Dee. I know I saw it on that earlier because Dennis wasn't even there for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and then like I just
like before Dee shuts this down. I know I saw it on that earlier.
I love again. This is his unending confidence of like I'm gonna scale the facade.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of like remember when they're like in the box seats or whatever, and they're like if they had to leave, he's like I would jump out this backwards, and if I had 2 guns, I'd be shooting up in the air. He's like I would dive out of this box. So he's like that's like a 40-foot drop or whatever. He's like I would tuck and roll. So yeah, so he's gonna scale the facade, but Dennis hates to tell him this, but he does not have the core strength to do something like that. And they get into this argument about how he only works out his glamour muscles. He's arm heavy, he's all buys, tries, and the rest is just fat and ribs. Do you think that's true? Do you think Mac only works out his glamour muscles?
I don't think he works out at all, but like, I mean, he looks like in better shape than me, so what am I to talk about? We do hear Dennis say scale the facade of the Citizens Bank Stadium. It's weird that even Dennis repeats the scale the facade.
And now that you mention that, by the way, why didn't they say like the People's Vault or something, or like Citizens Bank or something?
Some other
like
than the Citizens Bank, whatever. What is it? Stadium?
Yeah.
Field?
Just this again, even though they don't have to, just kind of skirt like. Continue that game.
Continue with the game.
And they talk about how Max talking about how he can do more push-ups. He can do push-ups. That's like I try to look up how many muscle groups a push-up is, and I couldn't really find one. But it is. They do say it's for core. It's core stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a handful.
And Dennis can do more, even though he just got hit by a car.
I think that's such a funny line.
They drop down and start doing push-ups, of course.
They do that look though right before they engage in the push-up competition.
Yeah,
like they do are you testing me? I'm testing.
So then
you
let the record
me?
show we smash cut back to the courtroom where the push-up challenge continues. I love this smash cut. It's such a perfect like cut to them doing the push-ups.
Exactly.
Did you catch the subtitles thing?
What did it say?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the next scene, they're going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they get to 11. But the subtitles went when they're at the stadium 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then when they cut the courtroom, the subtitles are 20, 26, 27, 28. Like it starts off at 26. Well, even though he's just saying 6.
Well, that's weird. So the audio
it was strange.
Is correct.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with Hulu.
Yeah, come on, but guys.
I'm gonna have to talk with Mr. and Mrs. Hulu.
John Hulu and Mary Hulu.
Yeah. I'm gonna sit them down and let them know what their subtitle department is doing.
The trash.
So we're back in the courtroom, and let the record show Mac was slowing down. He was slowing down there.
But Mac did like 3 more.
Well, that's what he says. He did like 3 more. But Charlie strikes that from the record because Charlie doesn't believe that.
I like how he's like, strike that from the record. I don't think you did 3 more. No, she saw. I like how like Mac is such a kid. He's like trying to like point like someone saw this, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so he says, okay, the judge is getting frustrated. Back to the story. This is where we get some more Charlie handing papers to Dennis. And Dennis says like, I don't need papers. Stop handing me papers or something. And you could see Charlie Day laugh. Like he looks down real quick. And he's like, stop handing me papers. It seems improvised.
I bet every scene that they were in the court, he was constantly trying to do that.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. So he mentions here how he had just punched Mac.
Mm-hmm.
He hammered Mac in the face for accusing him of cheating. So let the record show we cut back to the stadium as the gang meets back up with Charlie, and him having gotten hammered gives them an idea to try the tunnels. And they say like, "Oh, you hammered my nose. Why did you hammer my nose?" They're saying hammered again.
Yeah,
Everyone's saying
they're
hammered.
bombarding the hammering for the rest of the episode.
And he hammered because he had bad. He goes, "Because you disqualified me." And he goes, "Yeah, you had bad form."
I think that's funny that Mac is playing judge in his own contest.
Yeah, bad form. And Charlie comes running up. "Oh, I got hammered so hard," and then D, "Who hammered you?" Like they say hammered like one after another.
Yeah.
Like,
But Dennis is like, "You deserved it, asshole."
he's still mad.
He's bitter to the end on this.
And there's just some overly passionate Philly fans.
Yeah, who do you
That's
think?
all. Yeah, who do you think? And that reminds D. Oh, that's right. There's a secret tunnel.
I love that tie-in though.
Yeah.
Charlie said this
And even
earlier.
everyone-
It happened. Came up organically to them.
Yeah. You'd almost be like if you were in a scene or something and somebody was like, "Oh yeah," it would remind you to say
Yeah.
that. Like, "Oh
Exactly.
yeah, like this is why there's a tunnel because everyone's getting hammered." So and even like Mac and Frank also like say like, "Yeah, we know about the tunnel. Everyone knows about the tunnel." That's where it's like then that's what gets Dennis to be like, "Okay, fine, we'll try the tunnel." And as they're going off, Mac says it seems like it's gonna rain. So they do know, like, it's on the wrong day. Like, they do know it was, like, a rain out.
Mm-hmm.
And they do mention it being rained out later on.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
It is weird.
I don't know.
Because they do honor that by saying it was a rain out.
And as they're going, and Dennis is talking about being disqualified, Charlie, was your form off? Which is so funny because he wasn't there earlier for that. And he knows, that Mac disqualifies people for their form?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was your form off?
I love that.
So then let the record show at the Holiday Inn, the gang wanders around until they find a secret dungeon full of bodies. Ross, whatever they want to do here, they just don't want to look inconspicuous. They don't want to look conspicuous.
I mean, could they look more conspicuous?
I mean,
They all look like they've
they all
been in
look
a
like
terrible fight.
they
Charlie
do
is
look
wearing
good.
green
Especially
man.
Charlie. Yeah, Charlie, and he's all ripped. He has one hand like out of the bodysuit.
They're all like kind of bleeding somewhere. Their eyes are bloodshot.
Well, it doesn't really matter because everyone looks like they've been in a terrible fight, and these two ladies are in a terrible fight.
That
Very
is
funny
awesome.
choice. Very funny choice. Yeah. And it also paints like Philadelphia fans.
I know. Do they have? I think they do have a reputation for being like a harder bunch.
We're gonna get so many emails and comments for that, Ross. We're gonna get hammered by these guys. We're gonna get hammered by these fans, Ross. I mean, so these two ladies are gonna fight, and Dennis is like, "You know what? This is crazy. I'm just gonna go to the bar, and then I will join the riot after."
Again,
It's the riot.
all
They
they
keep talking
came
about this
for.
riot. Yeah. And Charlie's logic is strange. Look at this little room. This got to be something. That's a strange
yeah, because they go
logic.
down the elevator. They're walking through these hallways. There's not really anything. It looks kind of like a basement of a huge ass building.
Yeah, exactly. And so they go inside this little room here, and everyone starts checking the shelves. It's Scooby-Doo style.
Oh yeah, Charlie throws in that. Oh yeah, check behind shelves, and they ask why, and it's like the answer is because in Scooby-Doo, secret tunnels are always behind shelves.
See, that's another like the gang like what they see
Leaving
on TV
TV
and
to
movies translates to actual
Real life,
Like, life.
yeah.
Yeah, in Chinatown they get the guy with the hat and electricity. Like they
Oh,
like,
no.
you know what I mean? Like they think it's real.
Right.
It's strange.
If they saw it on TV, it must be true.
It must be true. Yeah, exactly. And they realize that they lock themselves inside of this linen closet.
Mm-hmm.
They start freaking out a little bit, but Charlie finds a door, and it sounds like there's a tunnel in there.
But what is that? Do we ever find out really?
it's fake. It's nothing. They're making it up.
They're
I
making
think
that
from
portion up.
as soon as Charlie says, "What's this?"
Mhm.
the story's fake.
Mhm. I think so too.
So they go down into this this room. They turn on the light, and you see all these bodies, and they all have like Phillies gear on.
Yeah, one of them is kind of like wearing Mac's shirt. Like,
shouldn't they be wearing like opposing teams gear or something? Why are the Phillies fans down there?
maybe they all tried to find it, and this is where they all ended up. Or it
Oh, that
also
could be
some of them are
it.
chained up.
Yeah, the
So
chain.
it is like a dungeon.
That's a good point.
Like, I don't know. I guess this is a dungeon. This is where bodies go.
And they start screaming and freaking out. And let the record show, we smash cut back to the courtroom, and the judge, being unimpressed with the story, sentences Dennis to pay the tickets. And we cut back, and the gang is also screaming.
What a great choice.
The choice to keep doing this is like so funny.
Mhm.
Like, and they're freaking out, screaming. And they were lying about the dungeon. That they made that part up.
You're telling me you found a dungeon at the bottom of the Holiday Inn?
I love that she even says the holiday. Inn.
Yeah, the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, but they were just making that up because it seemed like they were losing her attention.
Yeah, you
But
weren't
she's
paying any
now.
attention. Charlie says.
Well, what actually happened was they got stuck in there for 6 days. This is a long time.
But why did they only get ticketed for like 3 days if they were stuck in there for 6 days?
Maybe you're allowed to be in that parking lot till the weekend's over or something, or whatever's going on.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just thought of that now.
It turns out there was a rain delay,
Mm-hmm.
so they mentioned the rain delay, and let the record show they're unhappy with the hotel's sanitation.
Yeah.
6 days is a long time.
Yeah, because the maids from the hotel never came back for fresh towels for 6 full days, which is alarming to them.
Yeah. And they were surviving on sink water, peppermint candies, and what little riot juice they had.
Mm-hmm.
So they think they're actually owed compensation for this.
Yeah,
Not only are they getting out of ticket, they're owed something.
because they went through some shit.
And the judge, being the good
that all
voice
it?
of reason that
Is
she
that it?
is, lays it out that not only does it not excuse their actions, it sounds like they committed a litany of other crimes in the process. So you got to pay the tickets. Next case.
Mm-hmm. With the gavel.
And this is where Charlie and Dennis declare
Kangaroo
court. This is kangaroo court. Ross, did you look up kangaroo court?
did.
I did.
Did you?
What do you got? Yeah, I had to. I've heard the term before, but I didn't really understand it, so I did look
I
it
didn't
up.
really
yeah.
dig too far in it. I just got a quick Wikipedia definition. A kangaroo court is
Yeah.
a court that ignores recognized standards of law or justice and often carries little or no official standing in the territory within which it resides. A kangaroo court may ignore due process and come to a predetermined conclusion.
Yeah, I don't think they have any grounds to back that up.
Not enough grounds.
I don't think this is a kangaroo court. I think that's legit. Yeah. So the next case, Charlie Kelly versus the Major League Baseball and the Philly Fanatic. He's suing Major League Baseball and the Philly Fanatic.
The title of this episode, the World Series Defense, kind of reminds me of this title of Charlie Kelly versus Major League Baseball, which I think is so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, he's talking about how the Philly Fanatic has a stranglehold on the mascot scene, and his name is the Fanatic, but he has to call him the Frenetic. His name is the Fanatic, but he has to call him the Frenetic because he'll get sued. He says that.
Yeah.
He
does
all of that.
explain what we were all thinking the whole time. Why are we calling him the Frenetic?
Well, I wasn't thinking that. I would have thought his name was Frenetic. But,
I would have
but yeah,
just assumed that they were saying the Fanatic because it sounds so alike.
it does too. And I didn't catch the All a Day In.
I didn't catch
until
that until
this
I saw
recently.
the subtitles.
Yeah, the All a Day In. Yeah. So as Charlie's getting kicked out of here, can we talk about steroids? Can we talk? It reminds.
They're ruining the game.
It reminds me when he's when he was Scorpio. When he was what was his name?
Can we talk about the male?
Yeah, no, that
Can we talk about the male?
it reminds me of that too. But the way he's freaking out when he's Serpico, it reminds me when he was Serpico.
Oh yeah,
And he's,
Scorpio.
screaming
I was
like
Scorpio.
Scorpio, that's from The Simpsons. When he's Serpico, it reminds me of how he's freaking out, and they're trying to get him to leave.
Yeah, he has that blow up chaotic energy.
Yeah, he's that chaotic energy right at the end, so yeah, he's
some say frenetic.
he's a little frenetic. Yeah. So, and then, so he gets kicked out while he's talking about steroids ruining the game, and end of the episode. And Ross, what is your favorite scene?
My favorite scene is Mac and Dee outside the building talking about the letter.
I agree. Mine's the exact same one. Yeah, the letter thing is so... Did you write a letter that she's out there? Yeah, it's incredible, yeah. And what's your favorite character?
My favorite character is Mac.
Mac is mine too. Yes, Mac, 100%.
He had a lot of good moments and good phrasings and Macisms.
You know who I think
he's really shining this season.
You know who I think was done dirty this episode is Frank. Not much for Frank to do.
Not much for Dee to do either. She shines in the moments she's
that's true.
Like present.
Yeah,
but
yeah, they're a little sidelined a little bit. Yeah. And what's your favorite line of dialogue?
Favorite line of dialogue is kind of hard. I kind of like Dennis's like long wrap up, and then it's more of like just the exchange of Dennis going like after being stuck in the tiny room, that whole monologue, and her just. It actually seems like you committed a litany of additional crimes in the process, like like the compounding of not only are you wrong, you're dead wrong.
You
like,
double, yeah.
That's how it feels to me. Her response.
You're more wrong than you thought you were. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think I have two. I'm gonna say my favorite line of dialogue. I have an alt, but I think my favorite line of dialogue is when it's so stupid, but it made me laugh every time when Frank goes, "Oh, by the way," and Matt goes, "Shut up!" Shut up.
I'm just making the sandwiches here.
And then my alt is also did you write a love letter to Sheila? That is my. It's the
real delivery.
It's the delivery of it. Like she leans forward, her head goes down.
Yeah. Did you write a letter to Sheila?
Ross, that brings us to
that is a really good one.
That brings us to the Wiki Trivia Challenge. These are 3 trivia facts that are taken from the Always Sunny Wiki about this episode, and one of them is actually from the episode, and 2 of them are made up by me. Ross, please guess the one that is actually from the Always Sunny Wiki. Number 1.
Okay.
Number 1. Chase Utley is Caitlin Olsen's cousin. Number 2. The gang drinks quote-unquote riot punch grain alcohol while tailgating. Number 3. Rob McElhenney is banned from all Philadelphia Phillies games.
It should be number 3, but let's go with number 2.
Ross, is that trivia? Or is that just something that happened in the episode? Because that's
Define
what
trivia. Trivia is subjective in itself.
I mean, that's what it says on the wiki. It says the gang drinks quote unquote riot punch grain alcohol while tailgating. To me, that is not trivia. That is what actually happened in the episode. I don't know why that's
not
listed.
Further information about what happened or a reference.
In some ways, it's less
anything.
In some ways, it's less information. It's not. It's. I mean, all right, Rob.
It's like I know,
Yeah,
I know that happened. Like I could have told you that.
Very strange. So I left that there. All right. So that brings us to our final thoughts here. Does this episode absolutely have the upper body strength to skill a building, or even though it isn't a hate crime, we're gonna hammer its ass anyway?
This episode has the upper body strength.
Yeah, it works on more than its glamour muscles for sure. It's not there's not like standout quotes per se, and
yeah, I found that hard to like pin down.
Yeah, and even scene wise, like what scene do I want to play? Like really, the standout scene is reading the letter. I mean, that's what everyone remembers from this episode. But that is so strong, and just the game of cutting from the story to the court, from the story to the court, and like they're doing
that's always
the things.
Fun. That's a great gag.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot going on here that is really fun and good. So yeah, I really enjoy. It's a breezy, easy watch too.
Yeah,
it's like
totally. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah. It makes me want blue Gatorade.
Oh, Powerade. Remember Powerade?
Of course I remember Powerade. Yeah, I think about it every night.
I love Powerade. I feel like Powerade sponsored my high school.
Hey, listen, the Always Sunny cast can't be bought, but Powerade, if you want to send us a couple cases of Powerade, we'll
get that Mountain Blue.
Yeah. Well, all right, that's going to do it for us here at the Always Sunny cast. Ross, what do we got going on next episode?
Next episode is Season 5, Episode 7, The Gang Wrestles for the Troops. What can we expect this episode, Eric?
Ross, I think we can expect to be talking about one of my all-time favorite episodes. Is that fair to say? Well, where does this episode rank in your
This is a top 10.
Yes,
For sure,
This is
for me.
100%. This could be in the top 5.
Really?
I think so. I really honestly think so. There is so much to love about this. We can expect the Birds of War.
Oh, man. We can expect the Maniac.
We can expect a bucket of chestnuts.
We can expect some jean shorts.
Yeah. We can expect Rickety Cricket blowing sand into people's eyes.
Oh, my God. We can expect a Desert Rose.
And, of course, we can expect Ben the Soldier.
Yeah,
Ben-
and a little bit of Artemis.
Artemis, yes, Artemis is in this. That's right. Yeah, it's a stacked episode. It really is a stacked episode. The idea of
The Trash Man.
the idea of putting on a wrestling show for the troops, like these
It's
people,
so bizarre and backwards. It's like, what are you talking about?
and yeah, the Trash Man, like a really famous Frank thing. Yeah, the Trash Man.
Yeah.
He gets on stage and he eats trash.
And they're like, and that's it? Like, dude, Rickety Cricket in this
Rickety
episode
Cricket.
is so funny. He like blows my mind
the-
at the
the-
end.
yeah.
They're like screaming for him to stop shooting sand in their eyes.
And like the Bird of War song, they're explaining that they're not the men that are like birds, not
Oh my
birds
God.
that are men.
The drawn on abs.
Yeah, there is so
Holy
much
shit.
to like about
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, there's so much to like about this episode. It's unbelievable. But all right, yeah, please everyone, please join us there for that. And until then, I guess a good day to use. Always Sunnycast is not endorsed or affiliated with Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the FXX Network, or Philadelphia. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of Eric Regan and Ross Northrup. Email questions, thoughts, suggestions, corrections, or things we just plain forgot to alwayssunnycastpod@gmail.com. If you have a moment, please rate, subscribe, and review the podcast. And, as always, thanks for listening, you jabronis.